Friday night edition of Locked on Astros, where we're your team every day. Today, Justin Verlander got on the mound for the first time since 2020, and it was a great sight to see. We'll talk about this and other things that happened in the game today. Maybe not ultra significant to most, but I thought we saw some great things. So let's take a look at this game, Justin Verlander start, and what the guys are going to be planning for the next few weeks.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett Htown Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked on Houston Astros, and we are your daily Astros podcast. I'm Htown Wheelhouse with Locked on Astros. You can find me at Htown Wheelhouse on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. And this episode today is brought to you by Built Bar. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar in the land. Use the promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your first order at built.com. I just wanted to step in and wanted to talk about Justin Verlander today. It was great to see the boys back in action in spring training and none other than Justin Verlander getting the nod along with the young guys. It was the seasoned veteran, the grizzled veteran, alongside the young stars, the up-and-coming stars. One of the stars today, Corey Julks, a Clearbrook High School alumni, got the first RBI, and we'll talk about that in a second. But how great was it to see Corey Lee, who is one of the top Astros prospect, one of the top three prospects in their system, get to catch Verlander today. And I'm going to be talking about some specifics with Verlander's performance, what I liked today. He did only go 2 innings, but remember, he's coming back off of Tommy John surgery. And from what we saw, he looked really, really solid. Asteroid Craig says he looked okay. I'm going to have to disagree with that very strongly because of what we saw today on the mound. Now, when you look at velocities and stuff like that, you want to know how comfortable someone is on the mound. And Justin Verlander said he's going to be looking at how people react to the fastballs, to his off-speed pitches, and also he's up there with a rookie catcher that he's not ever dealt with before. So that is another big thing. You know, Corey Lee looks up to Justin Verlander. Corey Lee is like, this is a perennial Hall of Famer, and I get to catch him. So he didn't get caught up in the moment. He called a great game. But right here, Justin Verlander's his max velocity was 95.9. His max exit velocity was only 85.7, which is very, very good. But he threw several pitches that were 95 mile an hour plus fastballs over the plate. Now, he threw a total of 31 pitches. 17 were four-seam fastballs. He threw 9 sliders, 3 curveballs, and 2 changeups. He got 1 whiff on each, a four-seam, a slider, and a curveball. So he got 3 whiffs. Now, with the swing on the curveball, he got a whiff, so he got 100% whiff rate. He had a 20% whiff rate today with his pitches. When you look at his velocity today, his fastball max was 95.9. His average was 94.8. And his minimum was 93.2. That's very, very good. You look at his slider. His max was 88.3. His average was 87.3. But overall, his top pitch was 95.9 miles per hour, and he averaged overall 90.9. And what you like to see when a pitcher comes in, especially with a rookie catcher, is you like to see how they react. Do they look comfortable? And from everything I saw, Justin Verlander looked like he played the part as not just someone who's coming back from recovery, but someone who looked like they were ready to progress. And that's what you want from your perennial Hall of Fame pitcher on the mound. So we have Justin Verlander. He came in, he felt like he did a good job. He felt like his pitches were where they were supposed to. He got a strikeout. Actually, he got two strikeouts in those 2 innings. He reached his pitch limit. I believe he was on a 40 pitch limit, but they stopped him at 31. And then we'll talk about JP France when he came in. But one of the other things I want to talk about is not just Justin Verlander's first start and how he did, but what it means for this ball club. This ball club really missed Justin Verlander last year. And we know that he even had mentioned he considered pitching in the World Series last year. I'm really glad he didn't because I don't think the way the Astros performed overall, it would have made that big of a difference. Now, if it would have been a Game 7 series, they lost in the last inning, and if you had Justin Verlander to pitch that one inning to shut the Braves down, then I think you have more of a reason to throw him out there on the mound. But you didn't have that reason, and so there was no need. So Justin Verlander comes in, he pitches, he touches almost 96, looking good, looking confident. He looks comfortable on the mound. He said he loved the fact that the fans were there. He said he said it's in moments like this where you remember like how good you have it, like how blessed you are, and how thankful I am he is as a pitcher to be doing what he's doing at the age that he's doing it. So that was very good. That for Justin Verlander, a 16, 17-year veteran, feeling excitement about a spring training start is all I need to hear from Justin Verlander. So he did a great job today. Now, JP France came in, and JP France was one of the bright spots last year in the minors. I believe he threw 100. He had 135 strikeouts in like 125 innings or something like that. He really upped the strikeouts last year in the minors at Sugarland, between Corpus and Sugarland, and he's got a lot of promise. He didn't look great today, but I don't expect every pitcher to go out and just be nails. He hung a curveball on the inside of the plate, on the inner third of the plate, and the Cardinals batter just took absolute advantage of it and crushed the ball. So he gave up some runs. He didn't do as well as I expected him to do. But that's going to happen, guys. This is spring training. What you're going to see a lot of in this spring training is you're going to see a lot of the young guys. You're going to see a lot of the young guys. You're going to see the Kessingers. You're going to see Corey Julks, who I'll talk about in a second. You're going to see guys that you may not know much about, Christian Gonzalez. You're going to see, let's see, who else was out there today? I mean, Metichevic, who has power. Hensley. I mean, you've got good Lord, I mean, people that you may not even know. Kearney, who's a good name. Durden is someone to watch. I love the fact that Marty Costas was there. He didn't do anything at the plate, but they've got some guys. Zach Daniels got in the game. Barber got in the game. And, Pedro Leon led off to center field. He had one strikeout. So you had some guys striking out a lot. They only had 5 hits. But Corey Julks, let's talk about Corey Julks for a second. Before we do, I want you to know that it is that time of year again. College basketball tournament is finally upon us. If you've been watching the upsets, the victory, the defeat, the just absolute desire these college basketball players have. If you're into this, they have contests for player props. BetOnline.net is your source for all sports betting needs. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports sources, podcasts, and news this season. It's not just basketball. BetOnline is the continued source for all your sport wagering information needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. Head to the website today and use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. So, with that being said, let's talk about Corey Julks. Corey Julks comes in here, and he's a kid from Clearbrook High School out of Friendswood, Texas. He comes in and gets the first RBI of the spring, hits a gapper, right? Like a double, hits the base of the fence. It goes over the outfielder, and he ended up scoring Kessinger, I believe. So Corey Julks, this kid is an absolute animal. They actually pulled him from Double A and sent him to Florida last year to tap into his power. And people have not heard about Corey Julks a lot. You're going to hear the name Corey Julks. He is going to make some moves this year and turn some heads. We lost Ronnie Dawson, who is a really great outfielding prospect. And someone like Corey Julks really stands a chance to actually do something, make some moves, and make an impact in the near future at the Major League club, whether it's this year or next. This kid can squat around 500 pounds. Okay. He is a beast of a man. He has got the tools. He's got the arm. He's got the bat. And he's just now really just unpacking a lot of this stuff right before our eyes. So Corey Julks is a name. Yes, that's what I said. He hit a double and he drove in the first run. So yeah, he had the first RBI of the season. So, today's game I thought was phenomenal. I know they lost 4-2, but the victory is not always in the W, folks. It's not always about wins and losses in the spring, but you had a plethora of pitchers out there. You had Sheets, you had Blanco, you had Olchazic, and you had Henderson. Okay. Blanco, Olchazic, and Henderson all had 2 strikeouts apiece. JP France even had 2 strikeouts. So each pitcher in there, other than Sheets, who was only in there for 1/3 of an inning, all got 2 strikeouts. You had a double by Julks off of Wainwright. You had Kessinger off of Levator had a double, and Sandel had a double off of Ryan. So you had the 3 doubles. You had the 2 RBIs, one by Zach Daniels, one by Corey Julks, and you had Julks, Kessinger, Medicevic, Sandel, and Gonzalez. They all had 2 bases each. So not a terrible game. I know 4-2 is a loss, but at the end of the day, and there were a lot of strikeouts, you have the young guys. And this is what you're going to see. The young guys are going to get a lot of time on the field. Spring training is only 3 weeks. And so you're not going to see a ton. Now, I mean, you'll see full squads. You'll see the big players. You'll see the Yulis. You'll see Pena. You'll see Altuve, Bregman, all the regular players, Tucker, Maldi. I mean, you'll see them all. Jordan, Chas McCormick, but you're going to see a lot of playing time for these young guys, and that's going to be a good thing. The Astros have a lot that is left in the tank to be able to pull up. I'm going to go with one more thing I want to tell you is Built Bar. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar in the business, and I want you to make sure that what you do is you go to built.com and use a promo code LOCK15 for 15% off your order. They have Built Puffs. They have Built Bars. They're all wrapped in 100% chocolate. The Built Puff is a marshmallow puff. It's infused with protein, 17 grams of protein, about 130 to 150 calories, 4 grams of sugar, about 4 to 5 grams of net carbs. These don't even compare to other protein bars. Forget the other protein bars. I give them to your friends. Go buy Built Bars. Built.com, the best bar on the biz. Use the promo code LOCK15 for 15% off your order. Tell them that Htown Wheelhouse sent you. So I wanted to come on here and I wanted to talk about just this first game and how exciting it is to see them out there. I saw a couple of interviews from some of the players, this evening as well. Jose Altuve was asked about, obviously, the big elephant in the room, about his buddy, whether he was going to sign it. I don't want to spend any time talking about the Correa saga, but Jose Altuve basically said, yeah, we would love to have him back, but moving forward, we just got to play. We got to come out here and we got to play. We got to prepare for 2022. This is a very good ball club, and we're going to be very successful. And, last year, we were really proud with how far we got, and we understand that we didn't win it, but our goal is to always get back and put ourselves in a winning position again. So, the spring training games for them, wins and losses, that's not what matters. What matters is getting them reps. And you'll see players out of position. You'll see, Pedro Leon, they worked him a lot at shortstop. He was in center field. Corey Julks, I don't think I've ever seen him at third. Maybe he's played a few games. He was at third base today. So you're going to see the Astros move around players. You're going to see the Astros put players in positions that they aren't traditionally in. We saw that with Miles Straw when he was here. Miles Straw literally, there was that year that Carlos had the injury issues, and I believe Straw played like 40 games at shortstop. And the reason why they do this in the minor league system is because it prepares them. And Steve Sparks talked about it. It gets them more marketable and more valuable to the major league club. Because if you just come up and you have a bunch of guys that are pigeonholed to one position, well, if you bring him up to be a utility or a bench guy, you may not need him in that position. You may need him in 2 or 3 other positions. So they're going to do that. Nico Goodrum, I can't wait to see him out there. I know he's a vet. It'll be good to see him get exposure. And, at the end of the day, it is just one of those things where you really want to try and just see what is going on and where and how these guys fit in. Yeah, I see that I'm having issues with my audio through the chat, but I can't figure out what's going on because I believe it's my internet, to be honest with you. So I apologize if y'all can't hear me. But I am honestly going to wrap it up here. I'm not going to spend much more time on this. I just wanted to come in and talk about Justin Verlander's first start. Just make sure that you stay tuned in to Locked On Astros, where your team every day. Spring training just started. We got 3 weeks of this, and then the Astros start the season on a 9-game and 11-day road trip. So stay tuned to Locked On Astros. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. You can find me at Htown Wheelhouse on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the show at Locked On Astros on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. Y'all have a good one, and go team.